Welcome to episode 1 of Freaky Friday. This is a new segment on my channel that I'm doing for the month of October because Halloween lands on a Friday. So I was like, okay, what if I posted a spooky video every Friday leading up to Halloween? So this is episode 1, and if you guys are new to my channel, I don't really post spooky content, but if you know anything about me, I love everything paranormal, spooky, spiritual, weird in the slightest. Like, I'm obsessed with. So I was like, okay, I have to do a spooky segment for Halloween for the month of October. Today's episode 1 of Freaky Friday. Today we are talking about like unexplained phenomena, like basically topics that have no explanation and are spooky and creepy and weird. I have 2 topics for you guys today, and the first one was a rabbit hole that I went down because I did not know about this, okay? And I remember when it first went down, and then it was like it was wiped from my memory. I never heard about it again. Well, apparently there has been intense rabbit holes about it on TikTok and everybody like debating it, and I didn't know about this. So then when I found out, it blew my mind. What I'm talking about today is the Miami Mall incident with the 10-foot tall aliens. Have you guys heard about this? Because I haven't. So basically, how the story goes is in 2024, January 1st, okay? January 1st, there was a bunch of teenagers at the Bayside Miami Mall, and they were like shooting off fireworks at the mall. And so it ended up becoming like a huge thing. If you see the videos, which we're going to get into, there were like, well, I looked up actually how many cop cars. Surprisingly, there was around 60, but it literally looks like there's hundreds in the video, which is insane for a fireworks going off. Like, okay, we're going to get into like everything, the debates, the theories, all of that, in my opinion. But basically what happened was there was all these cop cars and everybody thought it was super weird, and then people started coming out with videos saying actually that's not what happened. There was 10-foot tall aliens, and people swear by this. So we're going to get into that today. I have some videos lined up for you guys. I have my little laptop here. Okay, you guys, so this is outside Bayside Miami Mall when it was happening.
I have never seen so many cops
Oh, hello.
come out as I have right here at Bayside. There is like 400 or 500 kids, basically. It looks like kids, young people. I don't know. They keep getting into fights.
Okay, have you guys ever seen that many cops for anything other than like, I don't even know. And I've watched other videos researching this where so many people were like, I have never seen that many cop cars in one place. And yes, I ended up finding out that there was 60 cop cars, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot. You can see in the video there is literally so many. How are that many police officers even available? I just find it so insane over some teenagers letting off fireworks. And something else that I heard amongst searching my videos was that this exact same thing happened a year prior, which I mean, okay, I guess that kind of doesn't add to the credibility because I'm like, okay, if it keeps happening multiple years, maybe it actually was teenagers and they do this every year. But I can't find the video evidence of that, of people saying that it happened the year before, but that's just what I kind of heard from what people were saying. Now we're going to try and find the videos of the aliens, okay? So this is a video going around where people said the the alien was crawling on top of like the roof of the mall. Okay, let's check it out.
Thousands saw this clip and believed that 12-foot tall aliens are roaming the area. But what really happened in that Miami mall that night?
Okay, so that's one of the viral videos showing a figure like crawling. And I'm sorry, but I ended up finding an HD clear version and it was literally people walking. But that video gets circled around like crazy. Something I really want to look into is this witness Like, okay, he could just be some guy making up stories. But I'm going to get into why I believe him, okay? But let's watch his video first.
I was there at the Bayside Mall with my family, and we all saw exactly what happened. Don't like pay attention to a lot of the videos that are out there. I feel like a lot of people are trying to use this for clout. But what happened, we all saw what happened, and it's pretty serious. It's been a few days, but and our whole family's processing it. But I think we've kind of like accepted that we were a part of this weird experience and moment. So basically what happened was I was there with my brother Brian, my sister and my nephew. We were looking for shoes, for my nephew. And then we see a whole crowd of people outside the store, just running out in a direction. So, as soon as we saw it, we were like, oh shit, what's going on? So we immediately ran out with our nephew and, we picked him up and we ran out and we followed the crowd. And then about like a few seconds later, as soon as we started running, my nephew, he's autistic, so he was pointing behind us and he was saying blanky, which he'll usually say whenever he
Okay, so let me finish what he was saying first.
feels unsafe or scared.
I feel like that's such a specific detail, okay? Number one, like, listen to how scared and unsure he kind of sounds when he's starting the video. Then, when he mentions his nephew, he said, my nephew's autistic, and he was pointing, saying, I think he said blanky, and he says that when he's scared. I feel like people that are lying, there's no way they would come up with those details. And if you rehearsed it prior, it would sound so rehearsed. Also, something that I notice if you keep watching, I don't know where I ever saw this. I saw it somewhere. Somebody said that when someone is telling the truth and they're telling a story, they'll talk with their hands and they'll act it out because they're envisioning it in their mind and they're trying to like act it out because they're actually seeing it. But a person that's lying won't do that. But on the flip side, it's also a thing that people that are lying touch their face a lot, and he does touch his face. However, I don't know if he covers his face or if he covers his nose. He might touch his nose a couple times, but I'm pretty sure it's like they cover their face. And I don't know if him just touching it is enough to make it seem like he's lying, but I truly believe this guy just based on that detail alone. It's so specific. Okay, let's keep going.
And he was pointing behind us. So me and my brother, we look behind us and then we see these 3, 9, 10 foot tall creatures. I'm not gonna say aliens. Everyone keeps saying it's aliens. I'm not saying aliens because I don't know what it was. None of us really knew everyone. All of us stopped in our track. We, a whole bunch of people were pointing at it. There were other people running. There was a crowd. As soon as it made itself more apparent, it looked like it was glitching, not like a computer pixelation, but like a wavy glitch. And whatever maybe was covering them had, unveiled or whatever. It looked like a glitch, man. Like a weird glitch in the.
Okay, so that's interesting to me because he said not like a computer glitch. Because, okay, there's always the argument that, okay, so this was just a projector. And I do think that that's a possibility. However, the way that he's describing it and how I don't know if I'll be able to find them because I didn't save every video I found. Like when I tell you I was down a rabbit hole for a whole day watching like endless videos, I didn't save all of them. But in some of the other videos of people describing it, they kind of described it the same way, where it looked like it was coming in and out of their reality. But they didn't describe it. I feel like we know what a projector looks like. And maybe technology has gotten really good. Like, who knows what kind of technology the government has? Like, maybe they have the ability, like, maybe they have the ability, because you know how AI looks so real? Maybe they have the ability to make projectors like AI. Like, it looks so real. Oh, I am currently in a Walmart parking lot, so I'm sorry if it's noisy outside. But at the same time, the way that people are describing it, that it's coming in and out of like this reality, I feel like you know when something isn't right, and other people describe it as being so like intensely like not from this earth, not from this realm. And these are regular people, bro. Like, I think about these topics every day, and I feel like I accept it more, but these are regular people. These are regular people that don't think about this stuff on a daily basis. They don't think about other realities and dimensions and stuff. And they're saying this stuff, it's like that has to mean something.
Matrix or whatever, and and then you could see it in its full form, all three of them, and then they were all black. You saw eyes, and you could faintly see like lips, but yeah, I was about like 20 feet away, because obviously everybody gave it distance, right? And they're tall.
Just look at the way he's telling this story too. He's like acting out like you can see he's imagining its face in his mind. Then when he was debating like how far away he was like 20 feet. Like, I feel like if it was rehearsed, it wouldn't sound like that. Like, he just sounds like he's retelling a story from his mind.
So we all just like looked at them. They were just standing there, and the thing that was a little bit weird, well, it was clearly like observing us. It was sentient, right? Like, or whatever. I mean, I don't know, but it was aware of us. It looked at us, the whole crowd, and then as soon as it started walking with its big legs, like, I was
Okay, that is a crazy detail. To say that it was sentient, because, okay, if it was a projector and you saw the aliens and you either thought they were real or you knew they were a projector, I feel like that's just a detail that you wouldn't even think of. You wouldn't think, I don't know, I just feel like you wouldn't think to say that. Like, let's say you thought it was a projector and it was a projector. That wouldn't be the first thing on your mind. You would be focusing on what you're seeing. If you're getting a feeling, because that's not a fact. You can't say for a fact that they were perceiving you. That's what it felt like. Like, that's a feeling. I feel like that's so specific. Like, does that make sense? I feel like you would only be able to think that they're observing you based on the way that they're like the way that they are behaving in that environment. If it was just a video projector of aliens observing their surroundings, it still wouldn't feel real because they wouldn't be connecting with what's actually happening because it's like a video. It's not real. They're reacting to whatever the video made them react to. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know. I just feel like that's such a specific detail that I don't think someone that's lying would make up. Like, they couldn't make that up.
it was it was aware of us, like kind of like it started like almost glitching again. We all ran. My brother like immediately said, "Yo, let's go." He grabbed me by the shoulder. We bolted out of there. And for anyone that's like saying, where's the footage? Where's the footage? Yeah, I know. I don't have any footage, and I'll explain why. Because like when I when I saw it, I was in complete fear. It was something that I completely froze, man. I don't care if I sound like a bitch about it. Like, I froze, and I don't care who you are. I feel like when you're seeing something paranormal, it's different than when you're seeing a fight. Yeah, you'll probably want to record that and put it on World Star or whatever. When you see something paranormal, that's different because your reality, you can't comprehend what you're seeing. A fight, you kind of get it. Two people are fighting. You can comprehend that. Something like this, none of us could comprehend. Your first instinct is like, it ain't to like take out your phone and start recording. Your first instinct is like, I've never seen this before. What is this? Is it gonna hurt me?
See, that detail is crazy to me because so many of the comments are like, oh my god, if this was true, why isn't there any footage? Everybody has phones and nobody recorded it. I completely understand what he's saying. These people that are commenting this clearly have never seen anything paranormal. When you see something paranormal or something that like isn't right, doesn't make sense to the way normal reality works, you literally freeze, your heart starts pounding, and you go into like fight or flight basically. Like you usually what is it? Fight or flight or freeze? You usually freeze. Like from my experience, I haven't had too many paranormal experiences like face to face, but anytime I've experienced anything crazy, it makes you stop like, "Oh my god, if there were 10-foot tall aliens coming towards me, aliens. Like this isn't a ghost. Okay? This is something that's like, imagine seeing something inhuman. Not an animal. It's not the same as an animal. It's inhuman. Something that doesn't make sense. Something you've only seen in movies. That would literally, you wouldn't think to record. I'm sorry, but you wouldn't.
Or my family. That was my first number one priority. So if you don't believe me, I get it. You know, it's fine. Like, it is silly. I'm sure that someone had footage from that night. If you did, please contact me just so like, you know, we actually have it. So anyways, as soon as the creature started moving, we all just jetted out there. We ran out the front doors. And you know, obviously, like, we see a whole sea of cop cars, mad cop cars, where other ones were coming in. And we ran with our nephew, and then, you know, a cop stopped us. You know, they took us a little to a bit of a safer area behind the cars. And then, and they asked us what we saw. And we told them what we saw. You know, they wrote it down, and they asked everybody to check their phones. Not everybody, because there was mad people like running away too, right? They couldn't get everyone. So I'm wondering if someone's gonna post a video. But yeah, they looked through everyone's phone. I didn't record anything, so I was fine. None of us recorded anything, so we were basically free to go.
But that's crazy. Why would they ask to check people's phones? Like if it truly if if it's not real, like that's such a crazy detail, but like that's what I'm saying is so many of these videos are like, "Oh yeah, they checked everyone's phones." Why would they check everyone's phones? Why would they make you delete it? It's like I feel like they were in on it. Like not in on it, but it's like they knew the government knows something and we obviously know this. We know the government is hiding the truth about aliens to us, which I don't know why because like I don't know, this whole topic literally about aliens, I can't even believe that people debate this, honestly, because it's like we literally are in outer space. Why are we the only species that's allowed to exist? Like, there's millions of different animals. Those are different species. You don't think there's another, like, it actually, like, bothers me that this is a debate. But yes, whether this is real or not, I still don't know. But I think that's a very crazy, like, thing that they made they checked everyone's phones. And I saw another girl's video, which I don't know if her video is real or not either, because you never know with people. TikTok and everything, it's so easy for people to just be like, oh, let me make a fake video. And so many things are faked nowadays. And we'll get into that too, because I ended up debunking a lot of these videos. But one video I found, she was saying how she was there and she was just recording from like a balcony. And then she said a couple days later she went to go find the video again and she couldn't find it and her phone was like wiped. And I saw other people say this in the comments and stuff that like in the radius all of their phones like got wiped. And I can totally see like the government having some sort of power or even the aliens having the power to do that. So, I don't know. Let's keep going though.
But in the distance, you could still see, like, you know, I didn't see the beings come out the door, right? But you could see on the side of the building, kind of like that clip that everyone's seeing, that it was slowly walking, and it was like it wasn't cloaking or glitching or whatever. It was walking. So I don't know if it seemed more like it was an interdimensional thing. Someone's coming into our dimension or whatever.
Okay, but that's the thing. He's talking about the video of it scaling on the side of the building that everyone's um posting. Like that's like one of the videos. It's just blurry. I can't find it now, but I found it before and it literally was people walking. So I don't know why he's referencing that. That kind of makes me feel like okay, but I don't know.
A bunch of them, and I think that it was just interesting, the police response, because there was a whole bunch of them. This ain't for no teenagers. No, this was for something way bigger. And it almost seemed like the cops had like a already made strategy for it, because they surrounded one of the beings with like all their police cars. They blared it up even louder because you could hear that it was louder. Maybe as an attempt to like distract it or let it know like, hey, you don't belong here, right? And they were trying to like slowly move alongside with it.
That's the thing too. Like I believe that. The way he said it felt like all of the cops already had a strategy. It's the way that it's like every cop in Miami was sent out. It's like as soon as they heard there was anything about aliens, it's like they sent it. They just sent every cop in sight already like protocoled on what to do. I just find that so insane. Like, why would that many cop cars be there if it was just kids with fireworks, especially if it happened the year before? Like, I just don't believe that.
But I didn't see anything else after that, because me and my family, we got out of there. We went into our car. We went home, because we had our nephew with us, and we went to make sure like he was okay. So I'm still kind of like processing everything. Like, it's weird, but at the same time, I'm glad that we weren't alone in seeing it, because like it was a whole bunch of us that saw it. And it feels kind of like you're part of something like really big.
That's actually crazy. Like, if this is real, imagine the feeling of being there before the cops are there, before everybody is screaming, just like the core people. Because there's no way that everybody in the mall saw them. It would only be the people in that setting. Imagine like that feeling of just everyone you're with and you're all witnessing that. Like and you know what you're seeing is weird because everybody around you is reacting. I don't even know, like that just feels so crazy.
But at the same time, it's confusing, because like you want to kind of like show people. Like, I wish I took a video, man. Like, because people are gonna probably think I'm crazy, right? But yeah, I'm left with more questions. Like, we were all kind of left with more questions than anything else. Yeah, I'm not saying that it's aliens. I know everybody's saying it's aliens. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is I saw something come in through like a weird glitchy, maybe a portal or whatever. And it was like they were pretty tall. You could see some facial. It was they were very dark, like and shiny, but I can't tell if it was like a wet shiny or like a metallic shiny. And yeah, and long limbs. Yeah, I mean, yeah, long limbs, long fingers. They were definitely humanoid in shape, and shadowy.
That's the thing too, is like everybody describes them as shadowy, and that's so weird to me because when have aliens ever been described as shadowy? Like in movies, in abduction things, I've never heard them been described as shadowy. Like so many videos, they describe them as kind of like shadowy and moving in and out of reality. Like that doesn't make sense to me. And I feel like that again is such a specific detail that why, like if you were going to say, "Oh, I saw aliens." I don't think you would describe them as shadowy. You would say, "Oh, they're tall and gray and they have big heads and big eyes." That's what you would say if you lied about aliens. You wouldn't say they were shadowy and dark and, "Oh, I can kind of see their face." Like it just feels like the details are so clear yet so unclear. It feels so real.
But maybe that shadowiness was like from a glitch or whatever, like whatever cloaking maybe they had like fell off. But yeah, it felt.
Oh my god. I don't know how to explain this. I'm going to sound crazy, but I can almost picture what he's talking about. Why do I feel like our reality is like, I don't know how to explain this. Like it just sounds so crazy, but because I've done so many psychedelics and shrooms and I've seen past this reality, I feel like I can feel or see what he saw. Almost like our reality literally started glitching out and they started like moving in and like I don't know how to explain it, but I can see how that would look because I've done so many psychedelics and shrooms.
Felt like something was coming into our world or whatever.
Yeah.
Like a fucking Stranger Things episode. But
Like almost like our reality, which doesn't make sense cuz what we're seeing feels real, but it's not. Everything that we're seeing is like a projection. And I don't know how to explain any of that cuz I'm not a quantum fucking scientist, but there's people out there that have explained it that basically like what we're seeing isn't even real or like the full picture. Like we only see 1% of what there really is because our eyes aren't even visible to everything. So like our realities, I feel like we all collectively see the same thing because that's what our consciousness has leveled up to. That doesn't mean there's not more here, but I feel like it would look like a movie glitching in and out. Cuz when I've done psychedelics and shrooms and stuff, I've experienced things like that where it's almost like it looks like your reality's bending. Like it's crazy. I feel like I can understand what he's saying. Like I feel like I can picture it in my head.
but it was crazy, man. Like
Okay, so that's weird because I remember watching that video of him and he said that he had video footage and now he's saying he doesn't. I'm confused because the whole thing with that was he said, "Oh, what people don't know about me is I'm super like into like the 90s." So he said he always carries around a camcorder with him. And so he said when they were leaving, um, the police didn't notice that he had it because he said in today's day and age, nobody is even looking for that. Everybody's looking for phones. So he said they didn't notice him. And he said, I have the footage. And then after that, he went missing. But now it's weird because he said, Oh, I don't have any footage. And he explained that when they checked his phone, they just left because he didn't have anything. How come later he's saying like maybe he got a lot of clout from that video and then was like, oh, actually I do have footage. I don't know, but you can't argue that it's not weird that you can't find him. Like I've tried finding him, I can't. He has literally disappeared. If anybody can find him, the only thing I know is that his name is Fitz, maybe. Like I don't know anything else about him. I can't find his account. I can't find anything about him. He vanished. And everybody's like, "Oh, this guy went missing after. He has footage of it." Like this video right here, I feel like this is AI. Like I watched this. I'm pretty sure it's AI.
Witnesses who were there.
Where'd it go?
A lot of witnesses who were there claimed that the police deleted the footage from their phone.
Yeah, there were a lot of people there. That's true. They people had their phones taken away and video files deleted, us included. But what made our situation a little bit different is that I do have footage,
See, like,
and I didn't take it on a smartphone. And
but this is after, and it's like, who's interviewing him? The interviewer sounds AI. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say this video isn't real because in his first video, he said that he didn't have any footage. Don't you think he would have mentioned that? Or maybe not. Maybe he was scared, but I feel like he would have mentioned it. I just want you guys to see. Okay, so if you can see here, this is just a screenshot of the portal clip that was going around. So there was this clip of a portal opening up. Actually, let me see if I can find the video.
Just watch this, bro. Just watch this. Look at this. And look at everybody run away. Look at, no wonder no one was filming anything.
Okay, so people take that as actual evidence. That video is fake. I did some digging, and here is a screenshot of what the video is actually from. This is in China. As you can see, it's flipped. So if you look, they just flipped the video. It's the same video. They flipped it, and it's in China. And I don't know what this was from. I don't know if this was from a movie or a different freaking paranormal video. But that just proves to you that, like, this video is fake. And this is like evidence that people use as like, oh my god, the portal that opened in the mall and the aliens came out of. It's not, it never happened. It's not even from there, it's from China. So that when I started finding these things and like realizing a lot of it was faked, I was like, okay, I'm starting to sway my opinion because the paranormal lover in me, the one that knows aliens are real, wants to believe this. But the way that people want to go viral, part of me is like, okay, I do not believe this. Before we get into the next unexplained phenomena, I forgot to add that with the Miami Mall incident, another viral thing that was going around that people were saying, like, you can find it in any comment or any video, any comment section of the videos. People will say, "Oh, if you put in the coordinates to the Bayside Miami Mall, and you flip them, like reverse it takes you to a place in Antarctica." And there's the whole theory that we can't go to Antarctica because it's an alien base that the government has where they're keeping them there. I don't know. People, I started reading all these comments, seeing all these videos. People started saying how, oh, maybe the aliens, they tried to go through a portal that would lead to Antarctica, but they flipped it by accident and ended up at the Bayside Miami Mall. And at first I was like, that sounds like plausible. Like, plausible is a loose term in terms of all of this because it's a crazy story to begin with. But if we're going with the idea that this whole thing is true, then it sounds plausible because why would they randomly show up there? A lot of people said that they seemed confused too in the brief videos that I saw, that the aliens seemed very confused. They didn't know where they were. They were kind of like looking around. And so that sounded like true to me. Like, okay, yeah, maybe they were trying to go there. Maybe there is something weird happening in Antarctica. And I haven't done a huge deep dive yet into that, but I that is something that I want to like look more into. But then I'm like, okay, let me look up this whole coordinates thing just to like make sure. And which I never do. I never check anything. I go to a coordinates thing and I put it in and it did not take me to Iceland. Or sorry, it did not take me to Antarctica. It took me to Greenland. And then I'm thinking, okay, I know I'm really bad with geography. Like maybe Greenland is in Antarctica. It's not. And I even looked it up. I was like, is Greenland in Antarctica? It said no. So, but people will comment this with such conviction on these videos. They'll be like, put in the coordinates and flip it. It goes to Antarctica. Like, this is real. But, like, they'll be so convinced. And I'm like, so are people just respouting information that they've heard? Because that's something I would have done. I would have been commenting, like, but haven't you guys heard that about Antarctica? It's not even true. And then I'm just thinking, okay, how many other things aren't true that I just believe all the time? Like, you know what I mean? So I just want to add that because I thought it was funny that so many people use that as like concrete evidence when it's not even true. And if I'm wrong with that and my coordinate thing was off, I don't know, let me know if someone else wants to flip them around. But from what I saw, it does not take you to Antarctica. Okay, so that's pretty much all I have on the Miami Mall alien incident. Those are all the videos I have on that. What do you guys think? I'm still debating, okay? Part of me, hearing the way people describe it, I'm like, I believe this. Like, I'll hear them tell their story and I'm like, I believe this 100%. And then I'll watch some other videos. I'll hear some inconsistencies and I'm like, I don't believe it. And I'm so back and forth on it. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below. But that is the first phenomena that I have for you guys. Okay, you guys, it's a new day. I had to take a break because it was really late and I needed to go to work the next day. But we are going to talk about the second phenomena, unexplained phenomena that we're talking about is skinwalkers. I am literally obsessed with skinwalkers. I've been obsessed with them since I was like 12, 11, or 12 when I would listen to I think it was Mr. Nightmare, but like maybe not exactly him, but I would always listen to scary stories and I would listen to them as I fall asleep. And I remember listening to Skinwalker scary stories, and that was the first time I ever heard of something like that. And I was like, what the hell is a skinwalker? And then hearing the stories, it was actually terrifying, and I fully believed in them. We're gonna watch a video of someone from a Navajo tribe explaining skinwalkers in a minute, But basically, from my knowledge, skinwalkers are shapeshifters, and to become that way, they're basically people in the tribe that do black magic, dark magic, and they do this dark magic to become a skinwalker. But the purpose of the skinwalker originally wasn't evil. The purpose of the skinwalker was to help people quickly by getting far distances, like if they needed to travel and get medicine and things like that, way back in the day, if they needed to travel far distances for their tribe, they would shapeshift into wolves or deer and then like run. And it sounds insane, but like I fully believe it. I fully believe that um our world and our universe is way more complex than we even know. And so I fully believe that. But basically they would do this magic to transform, and they would do it for good, but it would take like years and years and years and years of spiritually enlightening to do that. But then there were evil people in the tribe that didn't want to put all the effort in. They just wanted it now. To get what you want quickly, you have to cut corners and do evil things. But basically, from what I gathered and what I've heard in different stories as well, is that they do very demonic things like cannibalism, rituals with like orgies, like satanic orgies, and they conjure up like these demons, and then like they sacrifice the animals, and I don't know everything. I might just be talking into my ass, but that's what I gathered. Okay, so we are watching the YouTube channel Shan Clen Shadow Productions, and let's listen to what he has to say.
That's crazy shit. He's crawling at me like a goddamn. What's up, dude?
Sorry, I'm scared watching this. I'm really scared. Ooh, I got chills. But I just want to add, like, from majority of what I've heard and seen, either heard in stories or seen in videos, is that they're like a grotesque, like demented either animal or person. Like they're like a person that like looks demented, and their bones are all crooked, and like they walk on, like it's terrifying. It's like the most terrifying thing I've ever thought of. So, anyways.
This is Skinwalkers.
Watch its back start to stretch.
I'm sorry. I feel like a lot of these videos, like, obviously aren't real skinwalkers. They're just like silly videos that people have like freaked out over. Um, but that doesn't change the fact that I believe the stories that people have told about them are real.
This one's gonna be a doozy for sure. Let me just tell you that these are not skinwalkers. Everything you know about skinwalkers is a lie, except
Okay, so we know that exactly like I thought, which I didn't think that half of those videos are real, but some of them were fucking scary.
for the very few of you who actually kind of know what you're talking about. Now this video is going to be the first of my paranormal series, so there's going to be a lot more paranormal investigations, more stories, more talks about my experiences that I've had in the paranormal. So this first subject that we're going to cover is the Anagloshi, or best known as by everybody around the world as skinwalkers.
Okay, I skipped ahead a bit, but he basically just says like what you know or what all the rumors are about skinwalkers, a lot of it isn't true because he said that it's native to their culture. Like it's not something that like I would experience because they don't leave a certain region. And he goes on to talk about that yes, like shapeshifters are in all cultures, that his culture isn't the only one that has shapeshifters. But skinwalkers, or they're also called wendigos, and he's calling them nanagloshes, I believe here. That's native to his culture. So he's when he's saying, "Oh, I don't think you guys have actually experienced skinwalkers," he's saying because you're not from our culture.
Hundreds of years ago, medicinal people used to go to our four sacred mountains that border the Navajo Nation. Two in Colorado, one in Arizona, and one in New Mexico. Now, these medicinal people would have to traverse the land very quickly to be able to do this ceremony within a couple days. So, the spiritual people taught these medicinal men how to shapeshift, how to turn into animals, how to turn into deer, how to turn into coyotes, how to turn into hawks. And so they use this power to be able to traverse the land for good, to do really good medicinal ceremonies, to be able to help patients. And in that old sacred way, they used to do this. But to be able to learn how to shapeshift was a very, very, very hard task and was not easy to do. So what people used to have to do, they used to spend years of their life learning the songs, going through ceremonies to be able to learn how to shape.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna put it on 1.5 speed.
Shapeshift into these animals. Now, there's a lot of people that were out there. They were like, man, this is taking too long. I can't do this. I can't stick with this. Now, when that happened, evil and darkness heard their voice as well, heard their prayers, searching for an easier way to do this. Darkness and evil said, come here. I know how to make you shapeshift real easy, but there's a couple things that you have to do to be able to obtain this power. So some people were just like, well, what do you have to do? There's certain steps and ceremonies you have to do to be able to learn how to shapeshift the way we do. First off, you have to sacrifice a loved one, an immediate loved one. Whether that be your lover, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, or your child, or your grandparents. Somebody that you love and hold close and dear to your heart. You'd have to take them out into the reservation, into the darkness, and you would have to sacrifice them to be able to first step and to obtain this power.
Like the fact that this is real is insane to me. Cause like he obviously knows of people that have done it. And like that's insane that like I know that like there's murder and stuff all over the place, but I think that there's a spiritual side, a satanic dark side to all these things that most people aren't clued into. And I feel like a lot of cultures and a lot of maybe conspiracy theorists are starting to clue into that there's a huge spiritual element to a lot of this stuff. And so it's just insane that there truly are people out there that are doing these heinous crimes for spiritual powers.
Now I know this is really dark, this is really gruesome, but this is the truth of how Unexplained has become to be. So, there's some other steps that you have to take that I'm not going to actually disclose to you because a lot of that is very gruesome, and I'm not going to go into detail because a lot of it we're going to keep sacred here. But
I'm sorry, I know he said he wants to keep it sacred, but he did mention, I believe he mentioned in another video, that the things he's talking about is when they kill the person, they do stuff with the dead body, whether it be cannibalism, necrophilia stuff, like a lot of disgusting shit, and that's probably why he's not bringing it up.
what are the things they can and cannot do? Can they turn into an elephant? Yeah, maybe, but they have to go and hunt and kill an elephant, wear its skin, and do the whole ceremony. Yes, they can turn into animals, they can shapeshift into anything, almost anything really, but they would have to be able to kill the animal, skin it, mark it up with its markings and designs, put it through its own ceremonies and rituals to be able to prep it to be able to be worn and shapeshift into.
That's
Now,
so crazy.
I've seen
That's
a lot
so
of videos of
crazy.
people out there saying like their dog, looks weird, or there's, all these other things like a poodle or something small. To be honest, Skinwalker is not going to skin a poodle, put it on its back, and be able to shapeshift into it. It's possible, but it's going to be very hard to be able to shrink down to that size. Typically, the coyote, the buck, the wolf are the main skins that were readily available in the Navajo nations. So there's also the bear, the mountain lion as well, but those are sacred animals, and a lot of times those themselves could not be changed into the darkness, so you rarely see those being able to be used in Skinwalker regalia or outfit.
That's interesting. I wonder Okay, let's talk about God for a second, or like positive energy, let's say. He's saying that certain animals are sacred. So that must mean that there's a positive force, let's say God, that is preventing this darkness from letting that shit happen to certain animals. So my question is, if that energy has the power to stop that from certain animals, why is it letting it do it in the first place? Why is it letting dark? But then it goes back to the age old question of like, okay, if God is real, why does all this bad stuff happen? Who the fuck knows? But I just thought that was interesting.
Those of you out there who have seen videos of people hearing their voices being mimicked in the distance, yes, that is a true thing that actually happens. Another tactic.
That's another thing in so many stories is they'll be like camping somewhere and then they'll hear someone's like their loved ones say something to them like clear as day and like they're not even there. And like imagine how terrifying that would be. I just can't even imagine. Okay, so he basically went over most of the stuff that I wanted to talk about. Something else that he brings up is when you are when a skinwalker is around you, something that they'll do to paralyze you is they'll take crushed up bones of different types of animals, I think, and they'll blow it on your face. And if you get that bone powder on your face, it means that you've been cursed and you're gonna die. And he literally talks about that in a different video, which we're not gonna watch today, but he talks about how he was laying in the bed of a truck when he was with his family. They were all like a bunch of people staying there. So it was a nice night. He's like, okay, I'm gonna sleep in the truck bed. And he's sleeping there and then he wakes up and he said he just felt an evil presence. And then he said he was paralyzed, and then once he got unparalyzed, like he said he kind of just broke out of it and he woke up his uncle and they got the gun and they scared off the skinwalker. And he said he saw someone's hand before he woke up. He saw someone's hand go over his face. And then when the uncle woke up and looked at him, he's like, you have the bone powder on your face. So they had to do this whole ceremony to lift the curse, which is like, what the fuck are we talking about? Like, that's so insane that like they're just minding their business and these are like their predators. Are these like human but very far from human creatures just constantly trying to attack them? Like, what is happening? Something else I want to recap before we get into some Reddit stories of skinwalkers is something else he talks about in one of the videos is he's telling stories of him like getting rid of skinwalkers with his family and like the rituals that they've done to kind of defeat them and stuff like that. And this whole time, like he's being filmed by I believe another YouTube channel and they're filming it in the area. I don't know what area it was, but there's you can see all like these canyons behind him. Like it's beautiful. And in the distance, all this spiritual activity starts happening. And I've experienced that myself. When you start talking about certain things, all of a sudden you'll start having like glitches with your electricity. You'll start having like all these weird paranormal things start to happen. When you start like talking about negative energy and like calling it out, it starts making itself known. And so that's kind of what was happening in the video, which like I'm not going to show it just because we would have to watch the whole thing through for you guys to see those types of moments and it would just be too long. But the camera will be at full battery and it will completely die, or you'll start to hear wolves in the distance howling. And he says that those are the skinwalkers, like using those animals, like, and using the energy to like make themselves known. And you start hearing all this like chitter chatter in the back and like just creepiness. Like it's just very creepy how all this stuff starts happening right when he starts talking about it. Okay, so now we are in the Reddit r/skinwalkers, and we're gonna read some stories from real people that have experienced crazy shit that they think are skinwalkers. So let's get into it. Okay, so this one's called A Weird Late Night Walk. Last July, I was walking back home after taking my girl home at about 2 a.m., and for some reason, there was absolutely no one walking, driving, or to be seen for the first 30 minutes of the walk. And usually, I see at least multiple cars driving and homeless people walking. And I was also high from a joint that also had THC concentrate in it. So when I realized there was no one to be found, it made me really paranoid. So I took a detour to a 7-Eleven to get some water, and when I walked into the store, the cashier was cleaning the counter by the fountain drinks, and he said, "Hey, can you please help me and hand me that spray bottle?" So I did, and I got my water and a bag of honey roasted cashews and started walking home again. Back to no cars, no homeless people, no random pedestrians. It was just me. Which that's kind of creepy because I hear a lot of people say in their stories, not with just skinwalkers, but with paranormal stuff or when like they're out and about, something they'll often say is that if you're in a forest and there's like bad energy around, that everything will go completely dead silent. Like you won't hear a rustle, a bird chirp, anything, and it's almost like sound escapes the area that you're in. And that's giving me the similar type of vibe right now. Then, about 20 minutes after I left the 7-Eleven at about 3 a.m., I had to walk past the farm areas, which was very dark and unsettling. And as I was walking past this one white and light blue farmhouse, I hear some kind of grunt followed by some rumbling around coming from behind this pickup truck behind this 5 foot tall wooden gate. I ignored it because it didn't sound alarming or threatening. It kind of just sounded like someone was lifting something heavy and put it down. Then I hear a soft, "Hey." No. That actually, like, oh my god, what would you do? I would literally just freeze. So I turn around with a generic response, "Hey." After a good 5-second pause, it said, "Can you please help me?" I respond with what? Then they say, "Hey, can you please help me?" I then said, "You should come closer. I can't see you from where I'm at." Then the most chilling pause happened for what felt like a whole 30 seconds to a minute, just complete silence. I then say, "I'm sorry, man. I really should get home." Then I start to walk away. Then it says, "Can you please help me?" And all of a sudden, I made a connection. The voice was exactly like the guy at the 7-Eleven, and the dialogue was similar. Oh my god, whoa! Because he asked him to help him with the spray bottle. Okay, that's actually crazy because that's the thing. They mimic voices. Oh my god, I'm freaking out. Okay. The voice was exactly blah, blah, blah. So I, after suddenly thinking of all those Skinwalker stories I read, started running my ass off. And when I started running, I heard hasty movement and heard the gate move. Full of adrenaline, I ran all the way home, broke into my bedroom window, and couldn't sleep until 9 a.m. That's my story. Let me know if you guys think it was a skinwalker or just a random intoxicated guy. That's terrifying. Let's look at the comments. Okay, so you were clearly high. I hate when people like reduce something down just because someone's intoxicated or high. Like, I feel like when you are on a substance, and especially if you're a constant user of that substance, you know what it feels like to experience something weird and you know when you're coherent enough. I feel like somebody that smokes a lot, like I used to be a stoner and I felt like fully control of what I was doing. Just because you're high, that doesn't mean that you're hallucinating or you know what I mean? Like I just don't like when people reduce it because you know that the people that are saying that have never done a drug in their life because it doesn't make you that insane or incoherent or like, you know what I mean? It was a crawler you heard. They are not only excellent mimics of the human language, they can also access your memories. They knew you were just at 7-Eleven talking with the guy that works there. I wouldn't walk outside there beginning at dusk. That's crazy. I've never heard of that. A crawler. I've never heard of that, but those are the only comments. I definitely think that it was something paranormal, whether it was a skinwalker or not, which I don't think it was a skinwalker just because the guy said that they tend to stay within the Navajo tribe religion type stuff. Like, I don't think it was a skinwalker, but it was definitely something fucking creepy. This happened about a year ago, and I've been brushing it off because it seemed impossible. Some backstory: this happened in Arizona in Apache Nation. Okay, wait, no, that's what he was talking about. I think that's where he was from. The Apache Nation. I'm pretty sure that's what he said he was from, the guy in the video. The company I was working with at the time decided to have a company camping trip at the Mogollon Rim at one of the lakes out there, so I went, and it was a group of about 15 of us. I had a buddy who worked for a sister company that always showed me pictures of all the fish he caught out there, so I got the okay to invite him, and he said he'd love to go. The day comes and I'm driving up there with my girl. Took some time, but we eventually found the campsite and everything was going normal. We ate and did a bunch of camping activities and then decided to go fishing. By this point, it was already 4 p.m., but the group figured we still had about an hour or so left of daylight, so we went. We get to the lake and start fishing, and about 30 minutes into fishing, we hear our names being shouted across the lake, and to our surprise, it was our buddy from our sister company. Okay, that scared me for a second because I'm like, how the fuck do these creatures know your name? He said he couldn't find the camping spot, so he set up camp over there. He was shouting this across the lake, which was probably only 40 or so yards, give or take. We kept yelling to bring his stuff over, but he kept yelling for us to go over there, but we ended up telling him to go meet us by the outhouses by the parking lot. We waited for a bit and he never showed up, so we just thought he decided to camp out where he was. My girlfriend and I decided to drive home that night because it dropped to below 50 and we weren't packed for that kind of night. Nothing happened on the drive home, but the next work day I saw my buddy and asked him what happened and why he never showed up to our camp, and he ended up saying he couldn't go because his mother was in the hospital, and he actually showed me a picture with a timestamp proving it. I told my coworkers and all the guys that went on the trip got chills. That is so fucking creepy. Like his friend wasn't even there. Like how do you explain that? This is what I don't understand about people that aren't believers of the paranormal. Like how do you explain that? I'll never understand how people will say, "Oh, like maybe this." No, like that is unexplainable. That is truly unexplained phenomena. They got chills and we tried to explain to him how we saw him at the lake and how he was calling our names and mentioning things only he would know. He said he thinks it was a skinwalker. I have so many questions. I would like some feedback or something from a native or someone who's experienced this before. My girlfriend is native, but I'm not, and she said she was uneasy during the trip. Okay, so I think because they were in the region of where they are, I think it was a skinwalker. Like that's actually insane. Okay, let's see. Hearing a woman comforting a fawn in the forest. Most days I run the forest trails of a bike park near my house. This evening I was just walking along and heard to my right a fawn bleating? Bleating. Simultaneously I heard a woman comforting it. It sounded like a woman who had found an injured animal. I couldn't make out the words, but she was talking to it just like the tone you would use when talking to a baby. I'm thinking something must be wrong, so I curiously call it hello. The forest goes silent. See? The whole thing with the silent forest. I call it again in a friendly voice, twice more, nothing. It sounded like the woman and fawn were right in the same area together, probably 30 feet away from me. There were tall reeds down the embankment, dense woods, hard to see. I take a step off the trail and an owl takes off from the ground in a thrush of dead leaves, way too close to me to be the sound of the distressed animal. Okay, that's crazy. You would think this woman would have said something back when I called out. I'm a woman also. This trail is about 4 miles long and never super busy. You may see one or two bikers for miles of a trail. I can't imagine she was scared of me. And why would she be down in the ravine swamp forest? I was about a mile from my car and was the only car there when I left, so she didn't drive there. It was just me out there. I stood around for about 5 minutes, walked around, but did not go into the reeds. Nothing. This isn't the first time I've heard a woman out there. It happened twice now, and I've been going there for about 2 years. Both instances were this summer. I was just running and heard two women in the distance off of the trail to my left talking. Middle of the bright summer day, I stop and look and no one is there. The voices are gone. Again, probably 30 to 40 feet away. It was just a couple women having a casual conversation. Down by the swamp as well. It was muggy and mosquitoes were awful. I thought, what in the world? Perhaps they're bird watchers or ecologists or something? This is rough terrain off trail. Think a reedy swamp where you would have to be wearing high boots. Wearing high boots. A pine barren ecosystem in the south. If paranormal, I would speculate the occult. Witches dabbling in something, someone sacrificing an animal. I'm not a big believer in cryptids, but I've heard skinwalkers can mimic humans. Okay, so that's interesting because I didn't think about that, but once she mentioned someone sacrificing an animal, like that's kind of what it seemed like a just a deer crying and a girl comforting it, but there's no one there, so I feel like maybe it is like also she's just hearing spirits or hearing paranormal stuff. Someone said, from what I understand of skinwalkers, it probably wouldn't have gone quiet when you called out. Instead, it would have tried to lure you further away from the trail. Like you would have heard more responses to you calling out deeper. That's what I think too. If it was a skinwalker, I feel like it would have responded and it would have tried to get her to come and like so it could kill her. That being said, if it was a skinwalker and you got the jump on it, it might have turned into the owl that flew away way too close. Whoa, that's interesting. It is crazy that the owl was there. And I do feel like spirits, like the paranormal can possess um things around it. So I feel like yeah, if it was something that kind of got spooked, maybe it jumped into the owl and then just flew off. Because like I don't know, it just all feels too spiritual to be coincidences that the owl just happened to fly right when she was hearing these creepy things in like the rural like swamp. Like there's it's crazy how they have to over explain like no one's gonna be in the swamp. You know what I mean? Like, people don't just go and sit in a fucking swamp. Okay, this one's a little bit long. So, the title is Demon Skinwalker? Let's find out. I would like to make my story known to others that have maybe experienced what I have, or if you haven't, don't take this with a grain of salt. Now, I have been a long time avid outdoorsman. I live in Michigan and love hunting, also backpacking. I've only had two experiences like this. The one I'm about to describe is the worst of the two. This happened in 2019. I was at a buddy's house whose whole family lives on one street. All of the houses are on one side, and everything is woods anywhere you go. My friend's house is at the end, farther down the road. So, with that being said, nobody that isn't his family will be outside, especially late at night. We were having a fire. It was maybe 1 a.m. ish, and my friend asked me if I heard people talking. He turned off the music, and we sat there silent. We listened. Then we hear very strange laughing, but only one thing, not multiple. Then the laughing like morphed into three things. I would say it started talking. It was so weird hearing it. Now, where we heard this was across this little stream, so we would hear if it was coming to us. My friend has bad vision, so this next part I only saw. There was no cloud cover that night. The moonlight slightly lit the tree lineup. I'm sorry, sometimes the way people write on Reddit is really hard to read. I swear I saw a man turn into a dog thing, like upright four limbed man thing, just turn into a creature on the ground like a dog. Okay, that actually, like, imagine you're just like, it's dark out and you see like this figure, and all of a sudden it like it's standing and it just turns into a something on four legs. I would literally bawl my eyes out. I start hitting my friend, repeatedly asking, did you see that? Everything that happened so far, it has been maybe 5 minutes. It was moving very slow, like it was stalking us. It kept making strange noises. We could hear barking. Oh my god, this is so creepy. In front of us was a pond, and on the other side of it, in the middle, a huge clearing was there. Then it appeared out of the tree line. We both saw a shadow appear. Now, this is the part of the story I will always shake when I tell. I've been in the woods all of my life. I've never heard anything like it. You can make weird electric noises on a DJ equipment or whatever, but nothing can compare to what we heard. We saw this thing appear, and it let out the most highest pitch scream for about 3 seconds, as loud as a tornado siren. My ears started ringing, and it started laughing again as we were grabbing the speaker. I noticed it started running at us. Bro, stop. This is actually like a nightmare. I think out of all of the stories I've heard, this one is like the creepiest. Like, I'm just imagining like you're camping and like all of a sudden there's this fucking guy, but he's not a guy. He's like something paranormal just screaming and running at you. What would you do? Now there's a football field distance between us and whatever this thing was, and it crossed the pond in what felt like a matter of a blink of an eye. We both went crazy and scrambled inside, locked the doors, of course. So that's the other thing I've heard about. Oh no, my little thing fell. I'm sorry, guys. It keeps falling. That's the other thing I've heard about skinwalkers is they can travel far distances like that because they're very fast. Like they can run at the same speed of a car. So I believe that this was a skinwalker. Like this story is insane. Now there wasn't a curtain on the window looking out into the pond. So I sat there staring at that fucking window for what felt like a year. All reality was 5-ish hours until sunlight, and I got the fuck out of there. I told other older men like my grandfather's this that all go all over the world for elk hunting, and they laugh at me. I will forever be in disbelief of this event. I will never forget it, and every time I think about it, I can't get that thing scream out of my ears/head. Okay, I hate when people, I'm sorry, like I always rant about this every time I talk about something paranormal, but I always just like cannot understand people that make fun of people that are telling their experience. Like, I understand not believing something. I understand thinking something is so crazy that you can't believe it. But am I the only one that when I hear these stories, I'm fully imagining it in my head? How can you just laugh at that? How does that not make you go, what the fuck? And especially if this is somebody that you know, like, why wouldn't you believe them? Michigan Dogman strikes again. So this is something I've heard about recently is the Dogman, and I don't really know how it's different from a Skinwalker. I think it's like, or it kind of sounds like a werewolf. I haven't done much research into the Dogman, but apparently it's like this very scary big man dog that's like a black dog that's like a demon or something. I don't really know how that's different from a Skinwalker because it kind of sounds like the same thing, to be honest. But honestly, I just think maybe there's this type of thing in all areas of life and they kind of differ in slight ways, but to their core, they're all this evil, shape shifting creature. Okay, let's listen to one more. This one sounds scary. So it says, petrified and looking for opinions. I've been a skeptic ever since knowing of these things. I've avoided saying the word in the subtitle, and whenever they're mentioned, I abruptly stop the conversation and do everything in my power to distract myself from the word in order to prevent them from being driven towards me. I find it interesting that they said they've been a skeptic, but then they're that what's the word? Like they're that like strict on not even thinking about it. Something tells me you believe it, cuz I believe that whole thing that if you cuz that's the thing with skinwalkers. They say if you say them, it's kind of like Bloody Mary or Voldemort. Like if you say it, it attracts it to you. So they say that about skinwalkers that you're not supposed to speak them because then they'll hear you and they'll start coming to get you. And I believe that, but I still say it. And I feel like I've had some experiences. I'm going to tell my skinwalker experience at the end because it was kind of recent and I don't know if it was a skinwalker, but it was when I was thinking about them heavy. So I find it interesting though that he says he doesn't believe them, but he's like very clearly terrified of them. For this reason, I'll be using the word creature instead. Frankly, I'm not entirely sure if this thing was really a SW. Could be something similar, but I digress. Oh, sorry, that reminds me. I'm sorry for all the tangents, but when I used to be very involved with the Ouija board, which I'm going to make a whole video on this for Freaky Friday. I'm going to tell you guys my Ouija board experience cuz it's crazy. But there was this one demon that I could not get rid of from my board, and to this day I will not speak its name out loud because I truly believe, oh, I'm starting to get scared. I truly believe that um like it hears me when I say its name, and so I get why he's so fucking terrified. Okay, so frankly, I'm not entirely sure if this thing really was an SW. Could be something similar, but I digress. These are the one thing I have consistently avoided since adolescence. Writing this, it is 3:11 a.m. This occurred about 20 minutes ago. Why are you writing this at 3 a.m.? Oh my god, I'm scared. Okay. I was on my way home from a friend's place, a bit groggy and feeling a bit down. I live about 30 minutes away in a small rural area. I try to keep a good eye on the roads at this time as we live in deer country and I don't want to hit anything. Throughout the drive, I did so like normal and all was well until turning off the highway into the road leading to my house. There's a large, low visibility hill right at the intersection to said road. As I crossed the horizon of the hill, there was the creature, sitting motionless. Oh my god, I got chills. Sitting motionless, tongue out, staring at my vehicle. It looked like the form of a dog, sort of brown and black, splotchy. However, I am 100% certain this was not a dog. I can see it. I can see it in my head. He hasn't even barely described it yet, and I can see it. You know when dogs pant, like they're really hot and they're smiling and they have their tongue out? It kind of looks creepy. Like my one dog, she looks like a feral fucking coyote when she's panting and has her teeth out and has her tongue out. I can only imagine fucking 3 a.m. You see that and you know it's not a dog. Like, oh my god. The way that I would actually, I just don't know how I would recover from experiencing something like that. Okay. Its eyes were large and lifeless. Oh my god, I'm grossed out. Dogs don't have human eyes like that. I know he didn't say human eyes, but that's what I pictured. It didn't move, only a twitch of the ear was visible. That's the only way I knew it was real. It was hunched over like some sort of gargoyle. Oh my god, this is actually making me feel sick, bro. Initially, I went to honk at it, but as some of my fingers grazed my horn, I was paralyzed in fear. I couldn't fucking move. It was just there, hauntingly staring. It was the eyes, the absolutely ungodly eyes. Oh my god, I feel like the eyes are just like something that you can't like deny. Like looking into something's eyes, that's how you know it has something real to it. Oh my god, I can picture it. Dread consumes me and I hit the gas and turned onto the road. This is a gravel road, mind you. I sped all the way home, about 4 kilometers away, and have locked myself in my room ever since. I can't move and sure as hell can't sleep. I don't understand why this creature was drawn to me. Perhaps my avoidance drove it closer. Nonetheless, I'm absolutely fucking petrified and certain that thing was not a dog or anything of the sort. I apologize if this writing is poor. I'm terrified and not thinking straight and sure as hell not going to sleep anytime soon. Any thoughts would be great. For a little more information, I live near the Rocky Mountains. That story was so creepy. I actually think that one's scarier than the other one. Okay, maybe not scarier because the other one had more in it. Like it fully ran at them. Like you can't explain that. And it ran in like seconds. This one is just like so creepy. Like I'm glad it didn't attack him, but the fact that it just sat there staring at him and you can see when something isn't real. Like it's not like natural. Like it probably had like hunched over large bones and stuff. Oh my god, I can't. Sorry guys, my audio cut out for a second there. I don't know. Comments aren't really saying too much. I personally believe, again, if not a skinwalker, same type of like shape shifting creature type thing. That is literally horrifying. To end off the first episode of Freaky Friday, I'm going to be telling you guys my personal skinwalker story. So you guys can let me know down below if you think this was a skinwalker or if you think I'm fucking crazy. So like I said, I've always believed in skinwalkers since I've first heard of the stories. It's always just something that I've like, when I hear it, I'm like, oh my god. When I hear someone mention, I'm like, no way. Like I just get excited about it. So I go through phases where I kind of like think about them. And this happened last winter. I came across this guy's channel actually that we watched today, and I was listening to his stories and it got me like re-interested and obsessed with skinwalkers. And so I started getting kind of scared and like and watching videos on TikTok, and like I just have that happen every so often where I'll go down this rabbit hole and I'll get really fucking scared about it. At this time I was watching his videos and then I had to walk my dogs. So I went to walk my dogs and it was dark out. It was a full moon on top of it. So I was like scared and I was thinking about them. And like the guy was saying in the video, I don't know if this happened because I was thinking about them and I attracted it, but regardless, I was thinking about them. I was scared. It was dark. And on my walk, there's like a path and it's in a park. So it's like open grass, but there's like some trees nearby. And for some reason, on my left side, I was feeling like this negative energy. I was feeling like I was being watched, which is interesting because I didn't just feel scared. I specifically felt it on my left side. So to me, it feels like there's some truth to that because if there wasn't, why wouldn't I just feel it all around me? Why did I specifically feel this negative energy on my left side? So I feel like I'm being watched from my left and I'm getting really fucking scared, but I'm trying to be like, okay, like, you're just freaking out because you just listened to all these videos. And it was a still night. There was no wind. All of a sudden, I feel like this like whoosh of like wind or like energy, like I just felt like energy like whoosh towards me, and I got really scared and I was like, oh my god, like we need to go. So I start rushing my dogs, and of course they're sniffing, they're taking their sweet ass time. I'm like, no, we need to get the fuck out of here. Like I feel like something's watching me and I'm getting scared. So then as I'm walking home, like I always like have these conversations with myself in my head. So I'm like, okay, like if this was a skinwalker, like give me a sign. And I look to my left, and I'm on a street now with houses. I look to my left, and in one of the houses, a light just turns off right when I look at it. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but just with everything happening, it felt like right when I asked for a sign, like the light turned off. Like it just felt freaky. So I got really scared, freaked myself out. I went home and I'm like, okay, I'm going to put like a salt line in front of our door because if these things are attracting to me, like you're not coming into my space, you're not coming with your negative energy, you're not going to follow me home. And I looked it up and that's what they said to do. They said put salt in front of your door. So I did that. And then the next morning, I was walking my dogs again and it was dark out because it was the morning in winter. And I'm walking and I'm almost home and I look up. Oh my God, I'm getting chills. I look up and I see this creature. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like I barely saw it, but I saw enough that I saw it fully, if that makes sense. But because it was so dark, like I can't confirm exactly what it was. But I saw like this dark creature like walking across the street, but it was like very low to the ground. It was on all fours. It was very low to the ground and it was trying to be sneaky. It was trying to not be seen and it like slithered or like slinked, like I don't know, it like slinked across the road like and it looked dark and like obviously the what's the word? Like the obvious thing that it could be is a coyote. I hear coyotes in the distance all the time where I live. I don't live like I live kind of in the country, but my neighborhood itself is there's like a lot of houses and lights and stuff. So, but there are coyotes in that area. So like the obvious answer is that it was a coyote, but it was the fact that like this was all happening when I was thinking about it. And I wasn't thinking about skinwalkers this whole walk. This walk, I was just like thinking about normal stuff. And then all of a sudden, I remembered last night's walk and I got scared and I started thinking about it again. Oh no. I started thinking about them again. And right when I was thinking about it, I saw this thing cross the street. So then I freaked out. I got so scared. And then after that, I think I just like moved on. Like, I stopped thinking about them so much. I just went back to my normal life and I didn't really have anything happen. And so it makes you kind of wonder like, okay, is your brain looking for these things because it's on your mind and you're scared of it? Oh my God, I heard noises. Like, is your brain creating these things because you're thinking about it, or are these things happening because you're thinking about it? Like, are these things attracting to you because you're thinking about it? So, I don't know. You guys need to let me know down below. I don't really think it was a skinwalker. I just think maybe it was a coyote, but it felt like there was paranormalness in the air because with the full moon, apparently the veil to the other world that we can't see, the paranormal, is thin on the days of the full moon. So I don't know. I don't really know, but you guys will have to let me know down below and let me know what you guys believe or if you have any stories. Like if you have any stories at all of skinwalkers, aliens, or anything paranormal, anything that you've experienced that just is kind of weird that you can't explain. But yes, that concludes the first episode of Freaky Friday. I am so excited for the other videos. Hopefully next week I have a better setup for you guys, but this was kind of rushed last minute. But I'm super excited for Halloween itself. I want to do something big for the last episode. But anyways, stay tuned till next week. And if you guys like my vibe, make sure you subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!